I've got a question for you. How does your phone connect to Wi-Fi, your laptop access the internet, and your smart TV stream videos all at the same time? What's actually happening behind the scene? And welcome back to another exciting learning journey as we continue through our IC3 GS6. And we are now stepping into networking concept. And that is the technology that connects all your devices together. And in today's world, everything is connected. Think about your phone, your laptop, tablet, even your smart home devices. But understanding how these connections work is what gives you real control. And we're going to explore what networking and infrastructure mean, why networks are important, wired connections like Ethernet cables, wireless connections like Wi-Fi, network interface cards and adapters, how to connect your mobile device to a network, and a practical case study to bring it all together. So you won't just connect to networks, you will understand how and why it works. So stick and stay. This is going to be a long one, but I promise you, you will love it. Let's dive in. We're getting close to the end of lesson one, left with a few lessons, and we should be done with technology basics of level one of the IC3 digital literacy, and you're looking at the global standard 6. So we'll delve deep into fundamental networking concepts. And as I've already indicated, it's going to be a long session, probably not more than 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So please stick and stay while I take my time to explain the concept to you. So we see that networks are all around us, like transportation, cellular, TV, and telephone networks. So simply put, a network is a system for moving objects or information, and as individuals, we do have connections. So we have a network of people. You need something, you go through your contact, you call, you follow on someone, then it's provided to you. So in computing, a network connects computers and other devices so they can communicate and share information, and that is what this is all about. So networks can link just a few computers in one room or millions across the world. So a practice called internetworking. So this is just a very simple design where we've got a server, we've got laptops, you've got your maybe iPad in one network. We'll delve deeper into that as we move along. Then if you want to go to the internet, we have the internet, you get to that through your internet service provider. You've got cloud storage, you want to access a remote computer and all of that. So this is just on the knowing bit of our level one. So just bear that in mind. Get into the details as we advance to level 2, then we go to level 3. So let's look at networking and infrastructure. So building this infrastructure took over 50 years and billions of dollars. So if you're enjoying a network and streaming and all of that, people had to put in the work, allowing modern networks to grow rapidly. So today, different networks like cellular, telephone, and the internet interconnect, linking homes, schools, and businesses and keeping us all connected. But why do we need to have networks? So networks are practical because they allow users to share files, resources, and internet connections. So for example, a user can create a file and others on the network can access and work on it without needing their own copy. So that is one use. Then resources like devices like printers and scanners can be shared, saving money and workspace. So you have an office building, you got about 20 computers. It doesn't make sense for you to buy printer for each individual computer. You can hook the printer to the network and all the computers can send their print jobs to that particular printer whenever they need to print something. So that's an advantage over there. Then we can also have multiple users in a home office can share a single internet connection. So you've got your router, you just need an SSID, the password, and you're hooked onto it. If you don't have a router, you want to use your hotspot from your phone, people can connect to it and share that internet connection from your phone. So you need to understand this bit. So the internet connection sharing. So home network lets multiple devices like computers, smartphones, tablet, gaming consoles, and smart TVs to share a single internet connection. So even one person can benefit from a small home network to stream audio and video to different devices, share media like photos and music, and share and backup files including documents and word scans, play online games, and each device can use the internet independently. So one device can serve while other streams videos or play games at the same time. So that is the beauty of sharing the internet. So you see, it's not difficult. You just need to make it relatable, okay? Then we've got Ethernet standards and what cables. So usually we use cabling protocol to connect devices on a local area network via wired connections such as LAN ports or routers. So as we advance, you get to understand IP addressing system and why they need to maybe manually assign or automatically get IP addresses from the DHCP service. So we'll get into that. And Ethernet supports three main speeds. So we have the gigabit Ethernet, which is 1 gigabit per second. We have the fast Ethernet, which is 100 megabits per second, and 10 base T Ethernet, which is 10 megabit per second. So obviously, if you're going for an Ethernet standard for your network, you need to aim at getting that of what? Gigabit what Ethernet, which is 1 gigabit per second. So we say that Ethernet is faster, more stable, and more secure than most wireless networks. It's ideal for transmitting sensitive data and high volume tasks like streaming HD video using the cables, okay? So it comes in different categories. So in networking, you say Cat 5e, Cat 6, Cat that. So followed by a number which determine their data transfer capabilities. So cables can reliably transmit data up to 300 feet, which is 100 meters. Longer distances will require a switch in between. So that is the attenuation of the signal. So when maybe if you're interested in pursuing a career in networking, then you need to look at the information technology specialist in networking. So it's also on Certiport website. You can read more about it. Then I can coach you and guide you through it. So common cable types include the Cat 5, which is even way below. We've got Cat 6, Cat 7, and all of that. So do your research, then you get to understand it. So you just need to know them for the purposes of certification. But these information can easily be Googled. You don't need to commit them into memory. I don't think it's necessary. Okay. Then we have the network interface card, which is connects to a wired LAN via the Ethernet port. So it supports speeds like 10 megabit per second up to 1 gigabit per second, and it's backward compatible. So next can be built in, which is internal installed in the system's board, or external, which can also be a USB. So simply plug in an Ethernet cable, and the most devices auto-configure the connection. Then we talk about device manager. Next can be built in, which is internal, installed in the system board, or external, it's a USB. So you just need to simply plug in an Ethernet cable, and most devices auto-configure the connection. So this is an example of a network interface card. So you fix it in a PCI slot on your motherboard, plug in your RJ45, which is the card cable, which has been terminated with RJ45, and you're good to go. Then we've got a wireless connection, which is our Wi-Fi, and which sends data over the air. And there are two modes, ad hoc, which is devices communicate directly, insecure and known Ethernet access. Then we also have the infrastructure devices connect through a wireless router, providing secure communication and internet access. So with ad hoc, I quite remember back in 2008 when I was reading my networking course, we created a crossover cable. Then you connect to one of the RJs the Ethernet port of one laptop to the Ethernet port of another laptop. You configure it manually, then you can share folders, and it was nice at that time. So most modern routers create a wireless LAN, letting devices communicate with each other in the internet via the router. So wireless connections will go Wi-Fi. So that's a classical example. Okay. Then devices on a wireless LAN need a wireless adapter to send and receive signals. So most smartphones and tablets have them built in, while computers can use internal or USB adapters. So if you don't have that, you can just get one. So wireless networks operate on 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands. So the 2.4 gigahertz band may face interference from devices like cordless phones. So signals weaken with distance and obstacles, which can slow down the connection. So bear in mind if you're using wireless, okay? So we can have a one from Cisco like this, you slot it and you are good to go. And when should you use wireless connections? Okay, they are convenient, no cables are needed, letting you work anywhere within range, such as on the sofa, in your bedroom, or outdoors, unlike cables where you need to be stationed at a particular location. So most devices with Wi-Fi, like tablet and mobile devices, rely solely on what? Wireless connections. And when should you use this? So if you want to connect, you click, then you enter the password to that particular network. Then voila, you are in. Okay. So tablet and smartphones have built-in wireless adapters that let them connect to Wi-Fi networks within range. So how do you connect your device? You turn your Wi-Fi on, you select the desired network from the available list, enter the passkey if the network is secured. Then if it's a public Wi-Fi, many public hotspots are unsecured, allowing connections without a passkey. So we go like hotel Wi-Fi may require a passkey provided to you. So let's look at this case study just to crown it all. So the capabilities and features of a small office computer network are similar to what an average home network might have. Of the following, which features might exist in both an office and a home network? Select the three options that apply. So printing from multiple locations, is that correct? Requiring installation of software on individual computers, games being limited to play on certain computers, sharing a common internet connection, sharing and backing up files to a single point, and only a single device can access the internet at a time, and streaming media from multiple sources to multiple devices. So just look at it critically. What are the three options? Think about it for a minute while I unveil it. So we've got one, printing from multiple locations. So that's the beauty of it. Once you connect it to a network, you can print from anywhere. Then you can share a common internet connection. You all enjoy it. It saves the company money, and sharing and backing up files to a single point, especially where they've created what shared folders. So that's a wrap for networking concept. We're not done, and I will continue in the next session. So just take and stay whilst I bring you the next lesson. But hey, if you've not subscribed, if you've not followed, please do so, and do well to share this with and do well to share this with a friend. Thank you. God bless. Bye.